Good morning. It is early, it is foggy, and it's lovely. It's not too cold yet. It's maybe about 48, 50 degrees Fahrenheit. Nice and chill weather for me. And just beautiful fog. It is so thick here, really living up to the Smoky Mountains name that this place is called. And I figured I would start here today because the farm and the horses just look lovely in the fog this morning. And there we have it. It's just after daybreak, so the farmers are getting started over there. And, well, I guess technically I should say ranchers. I don't know if they farm anything, but they have horses and ducks and chickens and pigs, and they got, to me that's farming, but I guess technically that might be ranching. I don't know, because they don't really do crops. They just do animals. But anyway, I hope you all had a wonderful weekend. I hope you had a good week. And, well, unless there are shenanigans upcoming, it seems quite possible that we will get a second Trump presidency. And there is a truck coming. Several cars all came at once, and I forgot where I was. So let's just start over. There was a lot of vehicles. I don't know if it's close to work time or what, but it's just after dawn. Anyway, it's looking like Trump is probably going to have a second term. And from what little news I've listened to over the weekend, the expected people are upset. The expected people are happy. And, you know, it kind of seems about what we thought. So, where is my mind on all of this? Well, if you listened to our Gulag Cafe stream last Thursday evening, plagued with technical problems as it was, I think that it is quite possible. And of course, as soon as I get talking about something, there's going to be another vehicle. So I tell you what, we're going to go this way. I don't know why there's so many vehicles right now. I thought that around dawn it would be a little quieter out here, but I guess not. We'll take a walk down this way, because I was going to walk back towards my place, but we'll just go this way. Probably won't be very busy down here. And besides, it looks lovely here. I like these beautiful maple leaves here. I really love this place in the fall and the winter. We get such beautiful low-laying clouds and fog. I love feeling the mist in the air, feeling the water on my face in the mist. It sure is a wonderful place to live, and I'm very thankful to be from here. I wouldn't want to live anywhere else. Okay. We're far enough away from the road, and I haven't heard a car, so let's go ahead and talk. Okay, so last Thursday night on Gulag Cafe, Chris and I talked about how this Trump presidency can mean some good things, but it's also going to be a continuation and a resurrection of some bad things. The American machine, call it whatever you will, the machine of the American empire has been bad for Europe. It has been bad for the Europeans that settled America. It has been bad for the relations that we have with each other because of corporatism and consumerism and enshrining all these lies about what happened in the early 1900s, pushing this concept of no race, no ethnicity, everybody's a paper American. The American machine has done great evils and great harm, not just to the countries and the well-being of the political body of Europe, but to the racial body of Europe as well. A Trump presidency is not going to remedy all of that. Everything that we care about, righteousness, truth, racial matters, a healthy racial identity, a healthy ethnic bond between countrymen, the Trump presidency is only going to be the most minimal of start to healing what needs to be healed. We can utilize it if we don't just sit on our laurels and do nothing. Just like with the first presidency, just like the first time that Trump took the presidency, what did I say back then? Well, many of you didn't know me back then. It was a long time ago. But I said, this looks good. What can we do with it? I didn't know as much about elite theory and how things worked back then. But I knew that Trump talked and wanted to be like a 90s Democrat. And I remembered the 90s because I'm old. And there's a lot of ugly shit going on, and there were a lot of lies being told then too. So I knew that Trump wasn't perfect. And then Lord knows he wasn't perfect looking at his first term and who he surrounded himself with and how ineffective he was and stuff. But this is not Trump's first term. This is his second term. And if he and the guys around him are serious about draining the swamp and bringing charges against people and trying to replace a bunch of these ugly machine stooges with people more loyal to whatever, right? Loyal to him? Loyal to whatever the hell MAGA means? I don't know. Because it's not like Trump came out and said, like, I'm loyal to the white race and the European man. And it ain't exactly like he came out and said, we're going to 1776 again. Nobody really knows. But we have the potential now to infiltrate elements of the machine that have been closed off to us basically from the beginning. So if you are at all interested in engaging in politics, now's the time. Local office, bigger public office, getting involved with staffing, getting involved in campaigning, any kind of advocacy in your local area, now is the time. Because in the next few years, we have an opportunity unlike we've had in my entire lifetime to actually start changing elements of the apparatus that runs, or at least carries out, what the American machine does. And so, I know all the arguments against Trump. I hear them all the time from the negative doomers on the white right. They talk to me still, some of them. And it's hard dealing with these people because it's like no matter what happens, they're just negative and awful and upset all the time. And I think that instead of just saying, oh no, Trump is just going to be blah, 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 you know, and just want accelerationism, that's lazy and childish. Saying that we can't do anything and that Trump is just going to usher in more, you know, white replacement of the 1990s, that's really ugly doomer thinking. That's childish thinking. You have to get your head in the game. If you care about all this, if you want to do something about all of this, about all the shit that we've discovered, then you have to be willing to put in some effort and have some hope. If you're just going to be a negative doomer that complains about everything on the internet, I don't want to hear from you anymore. Because you're not doing anything helpful. I know that Trump and his team are not perfect. I know that Vance has a non-white foreign wife. I know all that. I know that the PayPal Mafia bros and Elon Musk like shit like transhumanism and mass migration and open borders and shit because it's good for their money. I understand that. Like, I get all that. But that doesn't mean that we can't use this movement and its energy and what's going to be going on at the top level to help stuff at the lower levels. Especially in states that really need it. Like states that have been way more white erased than where I live, like Pennsylvania, Northern Virginia, places like that. We have an opportunity coming that we shouldn't squander. And if anyone listening to this is at all interested in local politics, now is the time to get involved. Get involved with your local GOP or even DNC group. Get involved with the process itself at the ground level. Because that is where some things can matter. Collecting names for lists. Finding out who's who among the movers and shakers of both your friend group and your enemy group. You can do that. You can collect names and information. You can network with people like I did for years. Like, you can do that. And we will need that going forward. I can't do it forever. I'm old. I want to retire already. Doing this shit for 10 years feels like an entire career of misery. And I'm out of steam. I need to pass the torch to the younger people. So, now is a good time to get involved. Secondly, the main thing we need to talk about is, what is it going to be like if and when Trump actually starts getting rid of a lot of the government institution people? He actually does drain the swamp. Can he do it? What if he does? What is that going to look like for us? How is the machine going to change? I don't know. I don't know if anybody really knows or can say. I think it's definitely interesting times we live in. And I think that should the levers of the mechanism actually function for Trump and his people once he replaces some guys, it'll be very interesting to see how the swamp is drained and what changes the Trump administration wants to make to the federal government body. Like, what arms or branches get trimmed? What alphabet agencies get closed down? What departments get shuttered, right? Like, is that even going to be a possibility in a Trump presidency? We don't know yet. We don't know. But the possibilities that are coming could be good for us. They could also be bad, of course. Anything could go bad. But I want to err on the side of hopefulness, because it seems like the most rabid and evil of the anti-whites, of the anti-males, all the people that just hate what is and hate who we are, it seems like that these people got too loud and too big too fast. And I don't know if they'll ever be able to go back to boiling the frogs slowly. I don't know. Because the internet sort of works against that. Because the internet doesn't forget. And frogs of every age on the internet are going to grope, they're going to shitpost, they're going to keep things alive, they're going to expose the truth, they're going to push, push, push. And the frogs have only grown in number. And if it's any metric to go by, here in sleepy East Tennessee, where nobody wants to care about nothing bigger than East Tennessee, I hear people around here talking about this shit a lot now. They're sick of it. They're sick of all the ugliness in commercials. They're sick of how the government's evil. They're tired of blah, 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 blah about transgenderism and feminism and all this other shit. Like, I actually hear people my age and older talking about this now, and that's not been the case until recently, like the last year or so. So I don't know if this can be put back in the bottle. I don't know. There are probably some that want to try that. But I don't know if they can, and that's what gives me hope for the future. Because for this evil narrative to function, it requires the ignorance and complacency, the ignorance and complacency of the boomer generation. Well, people aren't like that anymore. And I don't know how things are going to shape, but I don't see the genie being put back in the bottle. I don't. Now, whether that's going to be good for us or not, I can't say, and I'm not making any predictions. But I do think that we are on the precipice of societal change. I just don't know of what nature. But it feels like we are on the precipice of societal change. I feel it coming in the air tonight, like the song goes. So, what do I want you to take away from this? I want you to have hope, and I want you to not be a doomer. I want you to realize that the struggle for the embetterment of your people doesn't end with an election. It doesn't end with wars being ended, etc. The struggle for the embetterment of yourself and your people doesn't really end. It doesn't. I'm not telling you that you have to, be consumed by, social culture war. No, my point is, there will always and forever be people who are greedy and jealous and mean. There will always and forever be people who want to be a part of whatever power structure there is for personal evil gain. That's not going away. We're always going to have to be on guard for corruption, and the personal journey to improve yourself and to keep a healthy, positive outlook, that journey doesn't end either. That's going to be with you the rest of your days. And you need to remember that. The life or death of Donald Trump, the life or death of your favorite YouTuber, the life or death of your favorite movement leader, those things are transient. Right? They come and they go. You have to realize in your life there are things you can do, and there are things you can't do. I've had to face this the last several years, and that's what I want you to take away from this. Don't let this culture war consume you, but if you do care enough to get involved, realize it's not going to be I'm going to do something for a year and see immediate, obvious results for the better. That's not how politics works. It's not how life works. It's not how building a family works or raising a child works. It's a lifelong investment. And you have to compartmentalize it and not obsess over it like I did for years, or it consumes you and you have nothing else. So if you care about all this stuff and you want to engage in it, realize that it's part of a lifelong journey. A lifelong journey of hope and care, and you have to generate and carry the torch of positivity. Because it's easy to be a doomer. It's easy to say, I hate all of this, I want it to all burn. That's so easy to say. It's easy and childish to be like that. Don't be like that. You have to have hope, and you have to be willing. It's not like faith, where like you believe in something that doesn't exist. I'm talking to you about having hope and looking on the bright side. We have the internet. We have better communications than we've ever had. We have an easier time in this era than we have ever had of getting useful medications, healthy food. There are good things about living in the now. Things that we can utilize to do good things like building families and making ourselves physically healthy and fit and networking and socializing with people of similar mind. It has never been better for that stuff than now. That's a good thing. You should lean into that. Look for things to give you hope and positivity. If you only obsess and focus on the things that are negative, it's going to hollow you out like it did me. And I don't want that for you. I don't want that for anybody. That's why I fight hard these days to be hopeful and to have positivity, because it doesn't come easy to me anymore. I burnt myself out and hollowed myself out with all this. I mainlined culture war stuff for like 11 years. I shouldn't have done that. I recommend you don't do that. Find a balance. Keep up with the news, listen to some videos, check 4chan every once in a while perhaps. But you need to live for you and live for the people that matter to you. Your local community, your family, your friends, your kids. Make your life about the things that you would be willing to fight and die for. Not abstract ideas. Not large, big picture racial and civilizational stuff. That stuff's important, yeah. But you can't let it define you, because then you become defined by something impossible to manage and impossible to do anything about. And it will eat you alive, like it did me. And I don't want that. So this video's gone on long enough. I love being out here. I could be out here all day, but I have to get back, and it's Monday morning. I know this won't air till Tuesday, but I record these on Monday morning, so I have plenty of time to upload them. And so I have a full day of digging through the news trough to make Discordant Dragons ready for tonight. So I've got to head back and get that started. So let's enjoy the fog together. It's so pretty. Maybe this is what heaven's like for me. Maybe one day when it's my time, I'll just walk into the fog, and that'll be it. Keep heart and stay hopeful, everybody. You have to. It's not easy to do the right thing. It's easy to be childish and mad and angry all the time. You have to rise above that and be better than that. I wish I would have done that when I was young. And so now I advise people to do the things that would keep them from making the mistakes I did. I'll see you guys Thursday evening for either Empire of Lies or Gulag Cafe. Have a blessed week, everybody.